fine now, Ange.
Anthony, I've just asked Anthony if he's managed to sort it. I don't know if he's on here yet.
He was. Yeah, he's there. He's waving at you.
Oh, hello. I'm going to stop worrying now. I'm going to put that down. I'm just going to close my door and I'll be back. Okay, let's have a look. We've got 32 people are still coming in, so I'm going to hold off for a little while, but I just want to welcome you all here and thank you so much for coming. And as you can see, there are issues when you do something like this, when you're not used to doing it. So, hi, Salima. So initially, when I set up the Zoom call, I didn't realize that I could just put one link. So I've been sending everybody the same link, but individually. And then that link has gone to Messenger, and then people have been not seeing it because it's gone into some sort of spam folder. And then I've been resending, and I made such a big issue out of something that was really simple. I just needed one link. So that's a good learning experience for you all if you've not done your group session yet. If you've got any tech problems that you want any help with, once I've been through this, I'll be able to help you a bit more, I'm sure. As it's a learning experience. Although I've done groups, I've done tiny groups. I'm not doing anything like the size of this group. So it's a learning curve for all of us. But it's beautiful to have you all here, and people are still coming in. We've got 39 people so far. It's exciting. I don't know why you're all here though. Only supporting me, which is absolutely brilliant. Fantastic. So, and I hope you're all, wherever you are in the world, actually, let's have some fun. Let's put it in the chat page. So if you let me know where you're from, because it's just making my day that we're from all over the world. So hello from Iona from Canada, UK, North Carolina. This is exciting. Fantastic.
Wow.
Yay, I'm so excited. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It's brilliant. And we are recording. It's on record because I realized that we can actually set the Zoom up to record before you come on, so it saves the forgetting to press the record button. Hi, oh my gosh, Clara, Italy, but living in California, London. Sorry, I hope you're all doing well in the UK. I've got family in Yorkshire, my daughter and 2 grandchildren in Yorkshire, so I know all about the restrictions over there. Snowy Scotland. My daughter's in Robin Hood's Bay. If anybody knows Robin Hood's Bay near Whitby, it's really pretty. And okay, we've got 41 people. One thing I want to ask, if anybody knows Julia, you might know this as well, you probably do. I'd like to save the chat box after this from the meeting. How do we do that one?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Okay.
You can.
No, it's possible.
Hang on, I'll Google it.
Okay, somewhere. UK made it through your first test. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we're here. I'm going to start soon because we are. What time are we on? I've got my clock. Fine. It's only 5 past. We're doing good. Claire, hi Claire. If you click the 3 dots on the right, in fact, I've tried that and it says, oh, it does at the top. Save. So do you save the chat now or do I save it at the end? So many questions. That's saved. I think I must save it at the end. Okay, I need to, if you can remind me to save the chat at the end. That'll be cool. Just in case I need to. So yeah, so there are 3 buttons for anybody that wants to remember. The 3 little dots at the end. If you press that, right at the top, the first thing it says is save chat. And we got 45 participants. Wow. This is amazing. Okay, guys. Vasila's in. Okay. Let's have a look. Look, I'm just so absolutely stoked and delighted that you're all here today. It's just absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much for turning up. So we've got about an hour. Yeah, thank you. I keep looking at the chat and seeing where everybody's from. Okay, got my full attention. So we've got about an hour today for me and to be able to share some insights with you to help with confidence as new hypnotherapists. And I know you might not all be new hypnotherapists. You might, some of you are still in your training and some of you may already be qualified. For those of you who have not met me yet, you can see I'm a little bit dizzy at times, obviously. Turning off video. I'm not being rude, Dan, excuse me. Turning off video, but we'll be on sound. Oh, it's all right. I'm going to ignore the chat now. For those who've not met me, I'm Angela Farlam and I am an NLP trainer, a coach and a hypnotherapist. I qualified initially in hypnosis in 2004 and I've been utilising hypnosis as a trance junkie ever since. So I'm really passionate about hypnosis and its benefits. And my intention for you all today, hopefully, is by the end of the hour is that you leave as a more confident hypnotherapist. And so when you leave, so you can sort of see yourself acting more confidently, hearing your voice, that you feel more confident and just feel that there's been a shift in you, that you just feel better. Whatever it is that you want to do, not just in hypnosis, just in life in general. And what I'd like you to do then, so we can sort of see if there's a difference, you know, like the analysis, like say if a 0 is like you have got no confidence whatsoever with your hypnosis and a 10 means you've got heaps of confidence. I'm guessing you're somewhere on that scale right now. So if you put a number in the chat box, and then we'll do this at the end and hopefully that you'll be a little bit more confident. So if you'll do that for me, that would be absolutely awesome. Fantastic, brilliant. That's awesome. Great stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so you're sitting there in your rooms. I'm sitting here in my room at my computer. And I'd like you to be, hopefully you're nice and comfortable there. If we were going to be doing hypnosis right now, I'd probably be suggesting feet flat on the floor, so get yourself comfortable now, because although we're not doing hypnosis right now this moment, we are going to be doing some formal hypnosis throughout the session. So make yourself nice and comfortable as you listen along to my voice, as I'm going to be doing some demonstration and you will drift into trance eventually. So to start off with, I'm going to tell you some personal stories. And the stories that I'm going to tell you, it's not about me, although they are personal stories. My only intention is to help you to gain some insight. What I'm doing is pointing you in a direction. I'm also going to be sharing a funky NLP exercise with you. And I'm presuming that you've all done some anchoring, because it's been part of the course. So this is going to be anchoring, which is very similar but different to what you've been experiencing so far on the course. So we're going to be doing something that's called chaining anchors, but it's with an intention to bust a belief about your confidence, particularly with hypnosis, but confidence in any area. And we're going to be doing some hypnosis. So that's what we're going to be doing. And then towards the end, then I'll open up the session for any questions that you might have that hopefully I'll be able to give you some answers. So that's where we're going. And there's no need for you to do any notes, because this exercise I'm going to be showing you and demonstrating with you. I've got a PDF that I'll pop into the chat box that you can download at the end. So you don't need to be writing any notes. You can just listen along. And yeah, I'll remind you now that because we are online and because we are going to be doing some hypnosis, that if you do get disconnected for any reason, you will wake up. You'll not be in a trance all evening or all afternoon or all morning. You will wake up. Okay. And yeah, maybe it'd be useful if you've got your own phones on silent as well, so you're not disturbed. So yeah, like Milton Erickson said, when you're not moving, when you're not speaking, it makes it easier to not listen to anything else other than the sound of my voice. Over the time I've been doing the diploma, I've had quite a few people, made lots of new friends, and people have asked me, why am I here? I'm already qualified, and there's two reasons. The first one is that we're always learning. There's always more to learn. And sometimes it's really good to go back to the fundamentals. And I had found Freddie and Anthony through doing the Australian Hypnotherapy Association do a workshop, lots of workshops, and Freddie and Anthony did this workshop. So I connected with them, joined their academy and joined in the diploma. And I'm so glad I did, because I wish this resource had been, I wish they'd been around and doing this 16 years ago when I started, because it's absolutely amazing. The value that they offer is just out of this world. They're so generous. So that's one of the reasons I'm here, is to continue my own learning, to meet new friends. And secondly, to model, because NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, although it has lots of tools and techniques, it came about in the early 70s through modeling excellence, through modeling people who are really good at something so you can replicate it. That's what NLP is all about. And I'm fortunate to have trained with both founders of NLP, with Richard Bandler in London and Paul McKenna, was why I went along to the training back in 2006. So I'm here to model Anthony and Freddie, not to be them. I don't want to be Freddie, don't want to be Anthony, but to model the bits of them that I really admire and hopefully pick up some stuff, which is what we do. We model as kids anyway, it's how we learn. And practice, practice, practice. You want to get confident, practice. The more you practice, the better you get. So practice, practice, and do more courses, train with various people, because everybody has a different way of teaching. So it's, I've trained with so many amazing people that they're all a little bit of me, and I'm just me. I do it my way. I'm authentic. But don't try and be anything that you're not. Just be yourself. And there's a difference between confidence and competence. My daughter was born, she's 36 now, she was born in 1984 with a major heart defect. Now, back then, I would much rather have had a competent heart surgeon than a confident heart surgeon. But I know that many people do a course. I've seen it so many times. They'll go to a course where might be a week's course or a short course, and they come out of the course with a lot of confidence, but they don't really have the skill to back it up. And so the way I look at it is like, when we're learning something new, it's like when you're baking a cake. You first start to bake a cake, and some of you guys, you might not be into baking, but it's a great metaphor. So you learn, you look at a recipe book, you follow the recipe. And if you're making a Victoria sponge cake, hopefully it works out all right. To get it better, you might have to try the recipe a few times. And that's the basic. When you're learning something new, you learn to bake that cake. Then as you get a little bit better, you can start adapting the recipe. You could add some chocolate and make a chocolate cake. You could put some coconut in and make a coconut cake. Can you start adapting the recipe? And then as you get even better, as you get more masterful, you can make up your own recipe. And it's a bit like that with hypnosis and the tools and techniques. What you've learned here so far is a recipe. You've learned how to take people into a trance. You've learned what to do when they're in there. You've learned parts. You've learned to do after you get to communicate with that part, and then you can add something else in. You can add in a time machine. You can do the phobia cure. You can do the arrow, and then you can wake them up. You've got a whole package there, a whole recipe that you can build on. So it's really always be in that continuous learning and adapting, and just have fun with it. That's it really, But being confident is really from practicing and from doing your thing. You know, that's really when you know it. The interesting thing is when you really know it, you don't actually need confidence. When you know what you're doing, you don't even think about it, you just do it. It's when you don't know it that you need the confidence. And when I first moved to Australia, talking about competence, I had a phone call. I was already a practicing hypnotist. I put my business cards on notice boards around the place, and a guy rang me. And this guy had asked me to go and see this boy who he knew, who was in a coma. He was in a vegetative state. He was the same age as my son, and he asked me to bring him out of his coma. I was like, it's way out of my league. I'm not qualified to do that. And so I apologized. I said, I'm really sorry. I've just moved to the country. I don't know who to refer you to, but I can't help you. And I put the phone down. And immediately my mind filled up with, what if that was my son? My son was about the same age. He was about 26 at the time. And so I rang him back, and there wasn't one, there was actually two boys. This guy was from Bosnia, and he was running a magazine, and these two boys, separate families. One had been hit outside a nightclub and been left in this vegetative state for 5 years. And this other boy had been hit by a car. And so I went to see both boys, and I spent about a year with them, and I did a little bit of hypnosis, but I used everything that I'd got in my toolkit. I'm a remedial massage therapist. I've got a reflexologist. I'm an aromatherapist. So I did everything, not with the intention to bring them out of a trance, but just to help. And that's what we can do. It's just doing the best that we can, but not doing too much and not limiting ourselves. It's knowing what we can do without making promises that we can't deliver. So the first thing you want to do when you are with your clients is just make sure that you're in a resourceful state first. And so there's many ways of doing that. You've probably got your own ways and means of doing that right now. But to get into a resourceful state, sometimes it's just doing a little bit of deep breathing. I've just done Anthony's course with Ben Wolf, where they were discussing the value of the six breathing, where you breathe in for 6 counts and you breathe out for 6 counts. You can try that now. Breathing in and out. That's beautiful. And just notice how the energy just quietens down. So breathing's good. And then having your own anchors, things like the clothes that you wear. I used to work as a personal trainer, and I used to have a shirt that I wore, and other various roles that I've had, a particular uniform, and you go into that state, like your working state, your hypnotic state, your hypnosis, being the hypnotist. This is what I do. It could be the chair that you sit on. It can be affirmations that you tell yourself. Maybe you've got crystals around your room. But anything that helps you get into that resourceful state while you have a quiet mind. When you've got a quiet mind, you can be present. And it's easier when you've got that quiet mind to connect with everybody, that's whoever it is that's in front of you, whether it's a group or an individual. And then you can calibrate whether they're with you and going along with your suggestions, or whether there's something getting in the way. And I must admit, it's when you've got multiple people, it's a little bit more difficult than when you've got everybody that you can see in front of you. But it's doable, still all doable. So they're all anchors. They're all different types of anchors. And we learn through experience, you know. We're always growing and changing and evolving, and we're always upgrading beliefs about what's possible. You know, I'm sat here talking to you all now. We've got 49 people on the call, which is brilliant, you know. Absolutely brilliant. When I was seeing everybody's coming and coming, I thought, well, they're not going to all turn up. And right now, with the problem with the link, there's probably a lot that just think they can't get on the call, which is a shame, but it is just the way it is. But it's all about the learning. And I can remember many years ago when I was learning to drive, and I was very nervous. My mum used to call me a born worrier. I was so anxious. I worried about everything. I would never, ever have been able to do this call. Worried about everything. That was just what I was like. It was just my life. And then I took my driving test and failed when I was 18 and gave up. I thought, there's no way I can do that. Until then, when I was 24, I had my own business. I had a 2-year-old child. I was pregnant with my second child, and I had a higher value to learn to drive. And so I did. I learned, took my test, and I passed. But I still wasn't confident. And then my daughter was born with this heart defect, and something changed. Which reminds me of my first NLP course back in London with Paul McKenna and Richard Bandler. And they actually did this phobia day, which is for fear, obviously fears and phobias. And they brought in spiders, great big tarantulas, and they brought in great big snakes. And the spiders didn't bother me, but the snakes terrified me. So I worked on a phobia of snakes back then. And I really was scared. And we were doing all these techniques and hypnosis. And then I went to hold this snake, and I was still terrified. I thought, this is not working. But I sat down, and I was brave, and I held this snake, and I didn't freak out. And then I felt that I could feel the body of the snake, and I actually felt its little head coming up my arm, and actually felt love towards this snake. It was the weirdest feeling. And then I gave the snake back, and I spoke to Bandler, Richard Bandler. I had my photograph with him. I was so excited. And I told him, I said, if I can do this, I can do anything. I must admit, afterwards, I did begin to doubt a little bit, because you don't come across many snakes in the UK where I was living then. Which also reminds me of moving to Australia. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2012. And I decided it was an opportunity right there and then for me to walk my talk and show people that this stuff does work. And don't get me wrong, I had moments of like, oh my God, I've got cancer. But I decided it was an opportunity to walk my talk. I blogged my journey with a positive spin and tools and techniques, utilized hypnosis on myself. Came out of surgery with a need to watch all the Star Wars movies. My son had loved Star Wars as a kid. To me, it was just noise. I was forever picking their little figures up off the floor. And the videos he used to watch over and over, it was just noise. But all of a sudden, I felt this need to watch these movies. So I did. I asked Adam, my son, which order do I watch these movies in? And I became addicted. Yoda became my hero. And then when it came to having radiation, which apparently is a top side effect, a top side effect of radiation is extreme fatigue. So I decided with every session of radiation that I'd imagine I was getting zapped with Jedi power. So you know from doing this course now that our imagination is really powerful. I didn't even realize just how powerful back then. But I also run. I started running about 12 years ago. I've run a few marathons since then. But back then I'd entered a 10-kilometer run. It was a running event, a hilly event. And I gained a personal best result halfway through radiation. Now, it was a miracle. You know, it was like, wow, because I had all that Jedi power running in my system. And when I was moving to Australia, I had a couple of weeks in California, in America, and with my husband wandering up a street in Santa Barbara, half in a trance, and I saw these people, a crowd of people, and I thought, what's going on there? I got closer, and this guy handed me a snake. Now, our minds work really fast, and I'm looking at this snake, and I'm thinking really fast, I'm holding a snake, and I didn't scream. And I was like, then thinking, this is scary, I don't know this snake. Then I was like, this is amazing, I'm holding a snake. And then I looked around and all these other people were holding snakes. I was like surrounded by snakes and I was not freaking out. And at that moment, it was like, wow, this stuff really does work. I was glad to give the guy's snake back, I must admit. But it was, something shifted massively in me, and it generalized to fear of any kind. Fear of flying, I used to be scared of. I love flying. I wish I could fly now. If I could fly, I'd be in the UK right now seeing my family. And also public speaking. I'm sat here talking to all of you. So if I can do it, so can you. And my daughter, when she was born, and she was in hospital for 3 months before she was well enough to come out of hospital, and I couldn't stay at the hospital because I had a 2-year-old son who also needed me to look after him. I wanted to be at the hospital for doctor's rounds and feeding times. And you know what? Suddenly, I was okay driving. Suddenly, I could go through the centre of town at the rush hour because I had a higher value, which was being with my daughter. And this new belief stuck. So since then, I've driven in America, I've driven in Paris. And it, you know, we live in the feeling of our moment-to-moment thinking. If we believe something's to be true, then it will affect our reality. Okay, so let's have some fun. So I want you to go along with this exercise now, which is going to help you. So what I'd like you to do is, if to put your hand up, I'm just going to look at this other view so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, if you put your hand up like this, that's right. And what I want you to do is to remember something. I want you to go back in time inside your mind, and I want you to remember when you were really, really young. And I'm hoping that you all have a reference for this. Remembering Santa Claus, remembering believing in Father Christmas as a little boy or a little girl. Now, if you didn't believe in Santa Claus, you might have believed in the Tooth Fairy or the Easter Bunny, but we'll go with Santa Claus right now. So what I want you to do, because you've done anchoring, we're going to do, I'll demonstrate it first and then I'll have you all do it. So what I want you to do is, first of all, think about when you take yourself to being that little girl, that little boy, when you're really excited and Santa's on its way and it's so exciting. And then I want you to, once you feel it building up, that feeling, I want you to anchor that feeling into your little finger and your thumb. And then, not yet. Then we're going to go into a time when you doubted, when I remember my older brothers, I've got 4 older brothers, would start telling me that Santa Claus wasn't real, but I thought it's got to be real because my parents could never buy these gifts. But the doubt was there. So when you feel that doubt building up of that memory, I want you to press your second finger and thumb together, feel it build up and then let it go. Then I want you to remember the time when you found out for sure, when you got that evidence. It might be that you found some presents in your parents' wardrobe, but there was a time when you knew for sure. And I remember my brother showing me a doll that I'd asked for Father Christmas to bring me. And I knew then. He was excited and wanted to show me. And then, lastly, is when you look back now and think how ridiculous it was to even believe in Father Christmas. And that's in the finger next to your thumb. So let's do this exercise together now. Okay, so hold your hand up. Okay, now it might help to close your eyes and just take yourself there. You're really small. You're believing in Father Christmas. It's coming up to Christmas and you're getting all excited. Really, really excited. Father Christmas, you know, you're thinking about those toys that he's going to bring you, and it's so beautiful. And as you feel that feeling build up inside you, you might see the images inside your mind, you might hear voices, but feel that beautiful, excited feeling building up. And as it's building up, I want you to allow that finger, that tiny finger and thumb to come together and hold it. That's right. Really feel it. And then as it's building up, I want you to allow that finger to relax. That's right. So it's really important to the point of anchoring this. We don't want to anchor it too late. We want to anchor it when it's just building up to that crescendo, and then relax that finger and thumb apart. That's right. And then we're going to go on. I want you to think about now when you started to doubt. Just remember that time. Go back in time in your mind when you started to doubt that this could be true. That's right. You might remember a time, take yourself there, see what you see, hear what you hear. And as you feel that feeling build up, and take it into your second finger, that doubt. It's really important, this exercise is really beneficial. You just started to doubt. Maybe it was someone telling you that it's not true. You get into that age and you want to believe it, but there's a bit of a doubt there. And then when you feel that build up, bring that finger and thumb together, second finger and thumb together. And then when it's building up, just let it go. Let it drift apart. It's really important that you do that too. That's right. You're doing really well. And then I want you to remember that time when you got the evidence. With me, it was my brother showing me the doll. It might be that you just heard somebody talking, or you saw the gifts and you just knew. And that feeling, with me, it was a real sadness. But whatever, it might be just a relief for you. Whatever it was that, take yourself there as if it's happening now and anchor it into your middle finger and thumb when you got that evidence that it wasn't true. That's right. Feel it there. And as it's building up, just allow that finger to relax. That's right. And then we're going to go to the finger nearest your thumb. And this is you now. This is you now. Feel how ridiculous it seems to even think you could have ever believed in Father Christmas or Santa Claus. And feel that laughter or that ridiculousness build up inside you. And as you feel that, bring that finger next to your thumb and finger together and anchor that feeling of how ridiculous it was to even think that you could have ever have believed that. That's right. And then let that finger come apart. That's right. Okay, we're going to do this again because to create a pattern, you want to be doing it 3 times. And we want this to be a really strong pattern. So once again, take your hand up ready. And then I want you to go back in time. Remember, we're going to do it really quite fast now. Okay, I want you to think about that time when you believed in Santa Claus. Really take yourself there, maybe close your eyes, see what you saw back then, hear what you heard back then, feel that feeling building up inside you, that excitement, believing in Santa, anchor it into that little finger. That's right. And then letting that one go, and then go into your next finger and thinking about when that doubt set in. That's, oh, it can't, is it true? I'm sure it can't, it must be true because my parents couldn't afford this or whatever. And then pressing that seed of doubt into that second finger, feel it building up. That's right, then letting it go. And then moving on to that third finger, when you got the evidence and you just knew for sure that it wasn't true. That's right, that's the evidence there. Building it in, pressing it into that finger and thumb, and then letting it go, letting it come apart. And lastly, into the finger next to your thumb, and you look back now and it seems absolutely ridiculous that you could have even thought that, and just press that finger and that thumb together. That's right. That's right, that evidence is there. And then let that finger, and then just give your hands a shake. We're going to do it one more time, really fast this time. That's it, you're doing so well, so well. So again, one more time, remembering Father Christmas, Santa Claus, take yourself there inside your mind. See what you saw back then, hear what you heard, that little person, and you're so excited and Santa's coming in, just anchor it and feel it getting stronger in your finger and thumb now. That's right. Beautiful. And then letting that finger come apart, going into that seed of doubt. It'll just take you there very quickly now. It's anchored into your finger, that doubt that Santa ever existed. And then let that finger come apart and go into that third finger of that evidence. You've got the evidence now. Santa never existed. That's right. Feel it. Feel maybe that disappointment or that relief at knowing that. And then finally go into that last finger and thumb, that as you look back on it, now it seems absolutely ridiculous. How could you have ever thought that? That's right. And then let that finger come apart. And then give your hands a shake. And now think about what you're going to be having for your next meal. Just think about it in mind, what you're going to have in your next meal, right? Something different. Yeah. Maybe you'll have fish and chips. Maybe it's going to be, I don't know, it might be morning there. It might be breakfast time. That's right. all back to the room, all back to the room, because we're going to do something else. That's right, Julia, wake up. Right, we're going to do something else now. I want you to hold that hand, the same hand that you've got those anchors. Beautiful. Now, I want you to think about your lack of confidence at being a hypnotherapist and hold that finger and thumb together. That's right. Feel it. This is how you are right now at that number that you put in there in that chat box. And then I want you to go onto your next finger and notice how you're starting to doubt. You're starting to doubt that that's true. And then go onto your third finger and notice there's evidence now that that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And then go onto your last finger between your thumb and feel it now. That's right. How ridiculous. Close your eyes and just get a sense of how ridiculous it is to have even thought that from now. Taking yourself off to some time in your future, inside your mind, into the not too distant future, where you're there. Perhaps you're there and you're actually doing hypnosis and you feel that confidence. And then let that finger drift apart. And we're going to do it again. Okay, we're going to go back to your little finger and thinking right now about that lacking in confidence as a hypnotist. Just notice it. Go into your second finger quite quickly. That doubt now, that doubt that you're not enough, that you're not confident enough. And then quickly into that third finger where you've got the evidence now that it wasn't true. And then into that fourth finger where, as you look back now, it's ridiculous to have ever thought that. Now you are confident. Now you know you are. Now you know you can do, and you're learning with every single client that you see. Let's do it one more time. One more time. Back to the little finger. That's right. That's right. Feel it now. That lack of confidence, straight into that doubting it was true. And then very quickly onto that third finger where you have that evidence that was never true. And then bringing that last finger in, that last finger now. That's right. And looking back now, how ridiculous it was to think that, knowing that you're learning from every single client. That's right. And this time, as you let that finger come apart, I want you to look at your hand. Focus on a spot on your hand. Because in a moment, you're going to go into a deep trance. I want you to look at that spot on your hand. And I want you to notice the change in focus of your eyes as you focus on that spot. And I'd like your unconscious to take that hand closer and closer to your face. Because in a moment, it's going to touch your face. That's right, but not yet. It'll touch your face, and when it does, you're going to go into a deep trance. A trance so deep, deeper than any trance that you've been in yet. That's right. A deep, deep trance. Deeper and deeper. Just allowing, just looking at that hand, and notice like a pull, like a magnet drawing that hand to your face. Going deeper and deeper. That's right. Beautiful. Just letting go. Going deeper and deeper. Looking at that hand. And as your hand touches your face, just allow it then to slowly drift down, as you're going to drift down into a time machine. That time, that chair that you're sitting in there is going to turn into a time machine. And it's your own time machine, your own individual time machine. So you allow your arm to drift down to the controls, all the way down to the controls of your time machine. That's right. Just closing your eyes and see yourself inside your time machine. Look around you inside your time machine. See what you see the colors, see what you see feel the sea underneath you. Feel the controls. It's your time machine, your special time machine. And in a moment, you're going to go back through time. You're going to go back through time, all the way back to a time when you felt truly confident. In a moment, I'm going to count from 3 to 1 and I'm going to click my fingers. And when I do that, you're going to go back, all the way back to that time when you were truly confident. You're going to be floating in your time machine above that time when you were truly confident. I'm going to click my fingers, say 3, 2, 1. You're going to go all the way back. You're going to remember, you're going to look down. You're going to feel that confidence as you look down. And as you do, when you're hovering over that, you're going to see yourself and then you're going to float down into your body at that time. So ready now. 3, 2, 1, all the way. There we go. You're floating above that time. See yourself down there. See yourself down there, on that timeline. That confident you. And now floating down into your body, looking through your own eyes, hearing through your own ears, feeling that confidence inside you. See what you saw back then, hear what you heard back then, and feel what you felt back then. And from there, taking and reconnecting with that confidence in every single cell in your body, feeling that confidence, feeling that shift inside of you. You may even feel your physiology changing. You may even find yourself standing or sitting more erect as you're feeling that confidence, feeling it in every single cell in your body now. There you are. Beautiful. I'd like to thank your unconscious for working so beautifully with you here today. That's right. And when your unconscious integrated and processed anything that's necessary that allows you to bring that confidence back with you, I'd like your unconscious to have you floating back into your time machine, bringing all of you, coming with that young you inside of you, back into your time machine. That's right. And then coming back, all the way back to the present. That's right. Bringing all that confidence and that younger you. And as you're doing that, it's changing every event along the way, bringing that confidence in, changing everything. That's realigning everything at an unconscious level, all the way back to the present. That's right. That's right. Drifting back only as quickly as you do establish this new way of being within you, this confidence. And then as you're floating back to the present, I want you to float out of your time machine back into your chair, drifting deeper and deeper and deeper to trance. Because the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. And all because you want to, because you've chosen to have this experience. And I have nothing to do with it other than to be your guide. It's been your choice to have this wonderful and relaxing experience where change occurs at an unconscious level. So you don't even have to think about it. All you have to do is pay attention to my voice and go along with my suggestions. That's right. Because the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go, making changes at an unconscious level now. And as you're relaxing more and more deeply there, I'd like you to get a sense of drifting up out of your body now, floating way, way up into the sky, millions of miles into the sky. And from up there, looking down at yourself, relaxing in the chair. And as you look down and you see yourself relaxing in the chair, I wonder what it would take for you to look twice as relaxed as you do right now, relaxing in that chair. That's right. And from up there, as you look down, I'd like you to get a sense, just get a sense of a target inside your mind, a large target. Some people, when they do this, imagine an archery target. Some people even see coloured bands around that target. But in any event, this target has a very large centre core. And in that centre core, I want you to do something really special. In a moment, I want you to place any of lack of confidence or stress or anxiety or limiting belief, negative thinking. I want you to pop it all into the center of that arrow, that core. Put it all in that core, because you're going to be in a moment fired through that center core like an arrow, like a cannon. You're going to go straight through that core into a place of total bliss. What's going to happen is you're going to hear this sound. You're going to hear this sound like whoosh. And when you hear that sound, you're going to be fired through that center core. It's almost like going through a bullseye. You're going to go through and you're going to leave it all behind. You're going to leave all of that lack behind, whether it's limiting beliefs, whether it's negative thinking, whether it's anxiety and fears, all those things that have been getting in your way of your confidence as a hypnotherapist. I want you to pop it all in the center of that core. Put it all in there now. That's right. But I want you to be brave before you go through this core. As you go through this core, all of that feeling is going to be intensified. All that fear, all that stress, all that thinking, it's going to be intensified, but just for a split second. And then it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone from your mind. You'll no longer be able to feel it. You'll no longer be able to find it. It'll be gone from your mind. You're going to be floating in total bliss. That's right. So ready now. 3, 2, 1. Whoosh. There we go. Beautiful. Just floating in this blissful, beautiful energy. That's right. Beautiful. And from this space, I want you to think right now about someone you love, someone who loves you. And it may be a cat. It may be a dog. That's right. Maybe it might be multiple people, but those you love. Just feel that loving energy now. Feel yourself just being bathed in this beautiful loving energy. Nothing bothers you, nothing affects you. Like floating like a mind without a body. That's right. Safe, protected, completely peaceful. That's right. And then just imagine floating, drifting to the opposite side of the room that you're sitting in right there. Just imagine floating all the way back, drifting back. And then notice as you look back at yourself sitting in that chair, how it's all gone. Every ounce of that limiting thinking, negative thinking, any ounce of that stress, that lack of confidence is all gone. You cannot find it. You cannot access it. It's just gone out of your mind, gone out of your body. That's right. Beautiful. Only when your unconscious mind has completely processed and integrated all that's necessary will you find yourself floating back into your body. That's right. Drifting down into your body, feeling beautifully relaxed, comfortable, confident. That's right. More at ease, more at peace, just maybe a little excited now. That's right, floating back, all the way back. And in a moment, I'm going to count. I'm going to count from 1 to 5. With each number between 1 and 5, you're going to become more and more awake. You're going to become wide awake at the count of 5. And you're going to come back feeling wonderful, feeling amazing, feeling like you've had a wonderful night's sleep, and you're going to feel so confident, knowing that you're learning with every single client that you see, comfortable to be learning, excited to be learning new things, looking forward now with increased motivation. And all those things that you want to do, not those things that you just have to do, but those things that you want to do, you'll find yourself wanting to get out there and challenge yourself more and more, knowing that you're okay, no matter what. You're free now, free to do whatever it is you want to do. So ready now. 1, slowly awakening, all the way back now. 2, that's right. And 3, all the way back. 4, that's right. Wide awake now. All normal sensations returning to your body. Every part of you back here with me, feeling wonderful. That's right. All the way back. And 5, opening your eyes. Now you might want a bit of a stretch there. Beautiful. That's right. Wakey, wakey. All the way back. Wide awake, feeling wonderful. That's right. All the way back. Now we live in the fear of our moment-to-moment thinking. We experience life as we are, not as it is. So things are happening out there, but how we feel about them is coming from what we're doing inside our minds. And we're all much, much, much more powerful than we realize. So now I'm hoping you're feeling wonderful and excited and looking forward to the rest of the day, and looking forward to doing your groups, and looking forward to seeing your next client with renewed enthusiasm. And what I'd like you to do is just write in the box what number you're at now and notice the difference. And while you're doing that, I'm going to admit my big mistake just now, because I was being really clever at doing nested loops and metaphors, and I forgot I was supposed to start the metaphor, do the work, and then finish the metaphor, but I finished it off all at the same time. So there you go. That's my biggest mistake so far. Beautiful. Awesome work, guys. Absolutely brilliant. So good. That's it. Okay. That's absolutely fantastic. It was supposed to happen next. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, great, Nicole. Okay, that's absolutely, thank you so much. Now, before I let you all go today, the books that we're going to do some, I'll answer some questions that you've got. There's so many books I'd recommend. I'm actually just listening to the audio book for Atomic Habits, and I can't remember the author's name, but it seems to be a great book if anyone's interested in that one. I'm also I'm actually a clarity certified coach. I've done clarity training with Jamie Smart, which is 3 principles training. You might not have heard of it, but I'd highly recommend Jamie Smart's clarity book, and I'd also recommend Richard Carlson's Stop Thinking, Start Living. It's a beautiful little book, and I can't not mention Michael Neal. Is Inside Out Revolution. I'm just going to try and put these into the chat box for you. Copy and paste. Let's have a look. Yeah, James Clear, thanks, Patrick. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And so those are, press enter. Those are those books I was just mentioning. And so, yeah, James Clear is the author. And also, I have, I've actually set up an email just for, it's just for new hypnotherapists or new therapists of any kind. And so I'm going to share the link here. And if you go to the link and you scroll down the page, you can join the email, and it will just, honestly, all I will share with you is anything that might be more Zoom sessions, it might be PDFs, anything that's related to confidence for hypnotherapists. And also on there, I've been getting really clever at this stuff now with help. I've actually set up a 4-week course for anybody that's interested.
Just waiting for everyone to come in. Just 1 second.
Hang on, I've just set something off. I didn't mean to do that. Did you hear that? Sorry, 1 sec. Okay, so yeah, so I don't know what I did then. That was interesting. But yeah, so if you do look at the link, if you scroll down the link, I've actually got a 4-week course going. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
1 sec.
Hello, how are you all
Sure,
today?
go
How's
away.
everybody feeling?
I've set something off and I can't get rid of.
What are we doing here today?
Okay. It's my practice session.
My intention is to help you.
That's it. Okay. It's all going to pop. It's all going to pop. But if you look down, I'm coming back now. If you look down, if you do go to the link, I've got a 4-week course. And the 4-week course it's aimed at confidence for new hypnotists. There's only 20 spaces because I want to be able to see everybody on the same page. It's low cost. It's $50 for the full 4 weeks, which is a bit of a no-brainer. Held at the same time as this course. And I'm also going to attach the PDF, the Santa Claus PDF right now, if you just bear with me while I find it. There we go. Copy. There we go. I'll put that in there now. Okay. Okay, so there you go. So that's the what link. Okay, I'll find the other link. Bear with me 1 second. I'll show you the link. Where is it? So it's coming up now. It's coming up now. There we go. Copy link and paste. There we go. There you go. There's the link for the for my, it's a page on my website, and it's aimed just for mentoring for confidence, really, for hypnotherapists or any new therapists. And so there's an email. You cannot see it. Why can't you see it? I keep putting it there. Can you see it now? Oh, you know why? It's going to one person. This is, you know what? You can all learn from the mistakes that I make. There you go. You should be able to see it now. Okay. Thank you, guys. I think we're just about done, apart from the message, if you've got any questions at all that I'm not sure if I can answer it, I will do. So are you able to let yourself take yourself off mute, or do I have to do that? I have to. Okay, how do I do that then? Mute or allow. Oh, I found it. You should be able to take yourself off mute now. Testing. That was so challenging. Thank you so much, guys.
And was there any other links that you shared that didn't come through?
Yeah,
there was the one for your course, but there was some other.
There's the Santa Claus PDF. Did that one come through?
Nothing did.
Okay, bear with me.
I did.
I'll share it again. I think it went to just one person. Copy.
Do you get them, Bernard?
There you go. So that's the link. So I'll just explain with the Santa Claus PDF. It's a chaining anchors exercise that I normally do spatially. So I normally do it with my clients stood up, and we have like spots on the floor. So if you look at the PDF, you'll see it's like 4 spots on the floor. It's really a good way of doing it if your client's in the room with you. But I adapted it to do it online. So that's why we used the fingers.
I think what you've pasted is a link to somewhere on your computer rather than a.
Oh, is it?
Attaching a file.
Yeah, it says it's not available, basically.
Can't open it.
Guys, I will get this to you. What do I do then?
Have you got the? I've never done it. I've never copied and pasted a file, but I guess you find the file, right click on the file rather than the link to the file.
Right click on the file.
Generally.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, yeah. It's saying if I right click on it, it's saying I can print it, but it's not allowing me to copy it.
There is no. You just go to the chat, and there is file Word down there, where close to these 3 dots.
Plus
and
file.
then you just click on it, and you can find your file on a computer, and then
okay,
and that's it basically. Then you can send it.
At the bottom.
I go to documents.
No, your computer at the bottom.
Yeah, I've got that. Then I've got to find it on my computer. Desktop.
Is it on a desktop then?
Yeah, I've got it. Yes.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Now I've got to figure out how to put that in my Google Docs, because I always struggle with these things. Aha, there it is.
I think if you double click it, and then it should take you to your documents, you can save it.
Everybody.
Where I put it last time, so that's great.
Phew.
Well done, Ange.
Thank you all for helping me out, guys, because there's so much to learn when you're doing, you know, Zoom is absolutely brilliant, but it's all the little things that,
yeah, you almost need to do one of these to practice all the extra features that you have. Things like how to put people into a
breakout room.
A breakout room.
Yeah.
And how to get them back out the breakout rooms, and what options you have, you know, like, it's a whole minefield.
It's all a learning process. So what I'm showing you here, guys, is learning in action. So like when I was saying about get out there and practice, 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 it's okay to get it wrong. I'm showing you by example. It's okay to not know everything, and just be okay with not knowing everything. And then it's amazing what you learn.
There's a thing called Masters of Zoom on Facebook. A lot of it's a bit highbrow, but it's a group, and they put in tips and hints and all sorts of stuff. Otherwise, you can Google Zoom instructions. But the Masters of Zoom, these guys do some pretty cool stuff.
Fantastic.
They've usually got groups of about 500 plus.
When I put the post up, and then it was like, oh my gosh, there's over 100. I started to freak out, I must admit. And then we got 49 and 2 have gone. I don't know what I did wrong. But I won't take it personally.
They probably just had things to do, like children to put to bed, or, you know.
Yeah, I know. But you know, it's been so good. I just can't thank you all guys all enough for just taking the time to turn up today, and it's been awesome. And I've learned so much from this session.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. So, okay, has anyone got any questions before I...
Sorry, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
Well, you just mentioned that you do also this Santa Claus stuff in a like face-to-face with a client.
Yeah.
And you're using this 4 points on the floor.
Yeah.
Something
So
like, could you just tell a little bit more about that as well? Because we are still in the Zoom, but
definitely,
definitely.
It's a chain. It's what we call a chain in anchors. So like with the anchoring, I think we've just done the one anchor. So you anchor something, a resourceful state. So what we've done here, we've like chained anchors, and it's a bit advanced, like collapsed anchors. So what we've done, we changed that anchor from believing to not believing in Santa Claus, and we sort of anchored that. So you do that in the spots on the floor. So you have the same thing that you got in your fingers, but you have a space on the floor. So maybe 4 post-it notes or 4 pens or anything that marks a spot on the floor. And so you anchor that in. And then the thing that you want to change, like in here, it was confidence for as a hypnotist, but you can use also, you know, anything that you want to change or upgrade. So what we did then was you go through the spots, but you're going through you're doing the opposite. So you're doing, you're anchoring so that it looks ridiculous to think that you couldn't be confident. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that explained also in the instructions you just gave us, Angela?
I think so. It's very it's actually I've got it here in front of me. It looks like, oh no, you can't see it. Place 4 circles on the floor, and I've actually put post-it notes. I've taught this at workshops at face-to-face. So then I've actually drawn the spaces like believing in Santa, doubting Santa, evidence that there's no real Santa, and then years later, how did I ever believe in Santa Claus? It's there, really simple for you. Then in steps, step into the first circle. When you have a good representation of a memory of believing in Santa Claus, step out of that circle, step in again and test the sensation and come back. Could reinforce it 3 or 4 times to get a really good state. So that's that building that first anchor. And then you do the same thing in the second circle, remembering when the doubt in Santa set in, do it 3 or 4 times, build it up. And then you go to the third one where you got the evidence, step in and out, really build up that anchor. And then the fourth one where it seems ridiculous that you ever believed in Santa. Then the next thing you do is that think of a belief that's not working for you anymore that you want to change. So that's what it says on here, but we were working with the confidence. So a belief that you're not confident in doing presentations, or a belief that you've got that you'd rather not have. Could be anything. And then when you've got a belief that you want to change, then you use the spatial anchors and step into each one thinking about the belief that you want to change. Spend some time in each circle, and then notice how you feel at the end. So that's like what we've done with it's really good to be able to do it with our fingers to work online. But it's a nice way of doing it on the floor if you've got somebody in front of you. It's really simple. I know I'm saying it's simple because it's something I do, and when you do something, you find it, you just do it, don't you? But it really is not that. It's a really, really nice way of working with people to help bust a belief. That's okay. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any more questions?
Angela, I just wanted to ask, hello, can you hear me?
Anthony, yes.
Yep, cool. I just wanted to ask if you had any tips or anything about the pre-talk. As you said, you sort of point us in a direction after doing the Jacqueline course. Being a beginner, sort of get the framework of everything, but then it becomes very apparent that the pre-talk and some stories and all that sort of stuff is very important.
Yeah.
And is there anything you would add to helping that along?
Yeah, that's come from years of being an NLP trainer.
Sure. Yep.
And I did with John Grinder advanced presentation skills way back when. So you don't need that to do a good job. You really, really don't. But it's really about setting the frame. And there's some of you might have heard of the format formula. So it's like, why are you doing this? And then what it is that you're doing and how are you going to do it. And then, at the end, like, if there's any questions. So you've got that, it's a frame. So anybody, if you do this course that I've got on my website, which is for Confidence for New Hypnotherapists, I'll go through all of this stuff. So you've got like a formula that you can work through that makes it easier. So yeah, it's just like, it really is setting yourself up first, like making sure you're in a resourceful state first, which Anthony's doing. James Acalis is an absolute wizard NLP trainer in Melbourne. He's a friend of mine, and Anthony's actually doing his course now. And one of the first things he's learned is about getting into a resourceful state with doing the alphabet technique and stuff. So there's some stuff out there that help you to quiet the noise in your mind and be in a resourceful state. That's the first thing you need to do. And again, talking about practice. If you'd seen me, what I did earlier, I clicked on I clicked on the wrong link, and it was one of my practice sessions. I've actually sat here recording myself doing this so that I could get clear on like the timing and what I wanted to say and what I wanted to get in there. And then I was getting a little bit cocky with the metaphors, like we call it nesting loops. Like, you've learned the metaphors, you do 3, then you close the loop. But the idea was to start the metaphors, then do I made the hypnosis bit simple, but I wanted to bring in what we'd done with Anthony and Freddie, with bringing in the time machine and the arrow. And then after the arrow, I was going to close the loop on the metaphors, but I totally got that wrong. But it doesn't matter. You wouldn't know if I hadn't told you.
Yeah, true.
But it's all practice. So even when you're doing your groups, the more you practice beforehand, the less you have to think of on the call.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. I have to go to, I'm at work today as well. I'm at the retreat today, but I've still got a little bit more time if anyone has any more questions.
No, that's been really useful.
I can hear someone, I can't see you.
It's Deb. It's just been really useful. Thank you, Ange.
Thank you for coming along, Debs. It's been absolutely awesome to do this, and I've really enjoyed connecting with you all. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Fabulous. Thank you
Okay,
very much indeed.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Ange. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you all
Bye-bye.
soon.
Thank you.
Oh, one thing. It is recorded. Let me know if you. Shall I put it in on the site for the recording?
Yes, please.
I'll put it there. It'll be later.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Angel.